A very good morning to you. I'm Emily Rubin at CNN London.
And good afternoon from CNN Hong Kong. I'm Manisha Tank and you're watching World Business Today. The top stories this Tuesday, February 1st. In Egypt, protesters are gathering for a march of millions to try to force out the president.
BP suffers its first annual loss in 2 decades after this devastating rig explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. But there's still a sweetener for shareholders.
And as Google loses ground, China's top internet search engine more than doubles its money in the fourth quarter. Egypt's credit rating downgraded, its tourism industry crippled, its central bank and stock market closed. Egyptian officials are on guard against financial freefall. Egypt's army has declared that it will not use force to stop the protesters, but officials have shut down the country's mobile phone networks and internet access ahead of today's massive march. Frederick Pleitgen joins us now. He's live in the Egyptian capital. And, you know, Fred, we're hearing about this million-man march. Do you see it happening?
Manisha, Egypt's economic activity is virtually frozen and the losses are piling up. You can't get cash because the banks are closed and ATMs are turned off. But what would you do with the cash anyway? Businesses are shut down. Many of them have been looted. Activity at Egypt's ports is slowing down too. The Dubai-based port company DP World is suspending its operations in Egypt as a precautionary measure.
Still ahead on World Business Today, a serious situation in Egypt. The new finance minister says it'll be expensive for the economy. Hear how he plans to handle the situation next.
Welcome back to World Business Today, live on CNN.
Now, we mentioned earlier that BP has just reported a loss of $4.9 billion, its first full-year loss in more than 20 years. That seems to have pushed its share price down. BP stock is trading 1.5% lower in London right now. Investors are nevertheless hopeful that the firm will resume dividend payments, which have been suspended since last year's spill.
Well, Manisha, those investors may be hoping in vain because BP's joint venture partner in Russia is blocking a proposed $1.8 billion dividend payment. AAR, which owns half of BP's Russian joint venture, is angry about a tie-up between BP and Russian oil company Rosneft. Well, Matthew Chance is in Moscow with more. Matthew, how likely is it that AAR can stop BP from paying this dividend, and how damaging would that be for BP?
A reminder that you were watching World Business Today with me, Manisha Tank, in Hong Kong.
And with me, Emily Rubin in CNN London. World One starts now. Here's Zain Verji and Monita Rajpal.
Thanks a lot, Emily and Manisha. We are watching developments in Egypt really closely. It's almost midday in Cairo. And take a look at this. This is what we are seeing right now in Tahrir Square in Egypt. Protesters gathering for what's being called a March of Millions.
We're also keeping a close eye on the U.S. Midwest. A massive storm is threatening 7 states. Thousands of travelers are already stranded, and it could get much worse.
And take a look at this. It's an image that you're going to see only very rarely. We'll tell you why. That's just moments away on World One. This is CNN.